written before our time.
American is a shithole. There, I said it. Look, I love my country, but I think we all can agree at this point that American is unrecognizable. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't think nobody knows what's going on. Politics is a fucking episode out of South Park. Nothing they say is truthful, not wrong. It's all amusing.
South Park is like Simpsons.
9-to-5 job and you saved up a little money for family vacation at the end of the year. Shit, you can't fucking go on vacation nowhere. The vacation is your goddamn backyard. Groceries is crazy. Not to mention the fucking groceries that we do have is poison. Walk down aisle to aisle to aisle to aisle. It is a death and death decision. Nothing is organic. Everything smells, look, and tastes like shit. Family, oh shit, family don't exist no more.
No.
Those disrespectful mother man shit. They teach our kids nothing in school. America is over 30th in mathematics in the world. That means there's over 30 other countries in the world that is better and smarter than our fucking kids. Just the way of living right now is just terrible, man. America, this is not a dream. You know they say this is an American dream. This shit ain't no American dream. The dream is for you to come over here. There's opportunities. Oh boy, there's opportunities. Oh, for sure, you can be okay. But expect, if you go that route, you're going to be working 9 to motherfucking 9. You ain't going to have no breaks. It is hustle, day in and day out.
Hustle and flow,
7 days a week, 24 hours a day, week by week, month, year by year. It's nothing enjoyable about that shit.
Sounds like he's getting an awakening, right? You know, may not be a two-thirds. That could be, he could further come to our truth. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh. Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Ba'ashem, Rakah Kadosh. Double honors, the and apostles, a great millstone who are teaching this truth and sincerity. And shout out to Akims out there in the four corners of the earth to claim this truth. Rakah the Yahweh, Rakah the Yahweh Shai. Ba'ashem, Rakah Kadosh, Brakatum. Like I said, that brother just put that up there. He has potential for becoming Akim, you know, because he gets it, man. That it's a fucking joke, you know. Here's what's really happening, though, is that, and I said this before years ago, first people they're going to round up because nobody gives a shit about them is the homeless. Well, it's now happening on presence, but we talked about this on the streets. Oh yeah, I've been talking a long time about this, that nobody's going to give a shit if the homeless disappears, right? Because they're a nuisance. They want to get rid of the homeless. They're the first to be rounded up and put into them re-education, them FEMA camps. Newsom tries shifting blame for homelessness crisis to local officials. See, there's a crackdown on all, you know, counties and all that to do something about their homeless encampments, right? So they're going to come down with even more strict draconian laws, as if it wasn't fucked up enough. Last week, fuck Newsom donned blue jeans and t-shirt to participate in well-choreographed cleanup of a squalid encampment in Los Angeles, declaring that homelessness is the biggest scar on the reputation of California. Yeah, California sucks. Everything's fucking high-ass price, and, you know, like the guy says, you're working from 9 to 9, and you ain't getting no motherfucking breaks. You're working 2 or 3 jobs, still not able to pay your rent in full. That's it. And it's an image for that former President Trump is weaponizing his presidential duel with California Vice President Harris. Oh, it's hilarious. Oh yeah, Trump's going to save the day, or Harris is going to save the day, right? Thursday's media event, chronicled by Fuck Newsom's $200,000 a year personnel photographer, was clearly aimed at portraying him as diligently working to solve the problem, while locals dragged their feet. Like everything else, though, they're cracking down on homeless. It's a crime. It's perhaps the greatest crime that there ever was, is being poor. Uh-oh. And you don't think this ain't coming to Babylon the Great. Look at what they've done to YouTube and etc. just because you don't go along with the narrative. UK schools to teach about misinformation amid race riots. Schools in the United Kingdom will begin teaching students about the so-called misinformation and extremist content. And here we go. As the nations face widespread race riots by Islamic terrorists. See, that's just it. They want to call them terrorists, the Islamic terrorists. Not these Israelis, not these Amalekites that are destroying their home. Oh no, heaven forbid. forbid that they fled north. Sounds like what happened to the Israelites, doesn't it? Yeah. What did it say? The scripture said, you know, go into the mountains. Well, a lot of us went to the Saharas, but a lot of us went north. That's interesting because that's what's happening with the Palestinians over there. So yet the curses that happened to us when Jerusalem was captured has now happened to the Palestinians over there, you know. It's more important than ever that we give young people the knowledge and skills to be able to challenge what they see online. So like everything else, though, you know, they're cracking down on what you're allowed to look up and all that. As you know, they've been cracking down for quite some time, but you'll see this draconian laws take place over here. If it's in Mother Babylon, it'll be taking place here in Daughter Babylon. Student Biden threats caused the Ukraine conflict. Former president told Musk there had been zero chance of hostilities until the current leader opened his fucking mouth. Republican presidential nominee Trump accused U.S. President Biden of bringing the world to the brink of nuclear war by making stupid threats against Russia, blaming the Ukraine conflict on Biden's low IQ. So like everything else, though, he's going to be made to want to save the day. And I'll admit, he's a much better speaker than Biden will ever be. This is all being done on purpose, but this is what he said in its entirety.
After I left, they started forming big armies on the border with Ukraine, right? And I looked at that, and I thought he was doing that because Putin's a good negotiator. I thought he was doing that to negotiate. But then Biden started saying such stupid things. We're in a very bad position, and I'm not going to blame exclusively, but I can tell you I could have stopped that, and a smart president could have stopped that. It wouldn't have happened. But we had a man that actually made it. It made it more prevalent. It was so bad. The words that he was using, the stupid threats coming from a stupid face that he was using. I said, this guy's going to cause us a war. He's going to cause us. And let me tell you, it can lead to World War III.
So there you go, man. And Biden, yeah, he's meant to play the role of being stupid. You know, I'm with stupid, you know, which is why they've shifted the elections to Harris, you know, because, you know, a lot of people, well, I mean, the national anthem became fuck Joe Biden in no time at all. Wasn't even in power for that long. It became fuck Joe Biden, later replaced by let's go Brandon, but it's been the national anthem for some time. Hey man, yeah, you might see it at a ball game and all that, but really, truly, what the people really feel is fuck Joe Biden. FBI probing alleged Iran hack attempts targeting Trump-Biden camps. Okay, so Iran is now trying to not just interfere with Donald Trump, but also Joe Biden. Like they have nothing better to do. Isn't this the same bullshit that we heard about Russia interfering with elections? The rhetoric going out, but this is what the Zionist media says. FBI is investigating suspected hacking attempts by Iran targeting both Trump associate and advisors to Biden-Harris campaign. According to the people familiar with the matter, as the agency formally acknowledged Monday, it has opened high-stakes national security investigation months before Election Day. So, like everything else, everything's still going to be blamed on Iran now instead of Russia. You know, it's now Iran. You know, because, let's face it, this Ukraine war is just about over with anyways. But, hey, you know, that's what you got when you got a shit show of an election coming up. Iran tells European trio it needs no permission to defend national security to create deterrence. And like everything else, though, it was a national security issue. When you bomb someone and your capital gets hit in those bombings and a terrorist attack, you know, drone strike, whatever, yeah, that's national security because, well, you know, that's your capital. So of course they have the right to defend themselves. Oh wait, did I say that about Iran? I thought the Israeli state had the right to defend itself, which means going in other countries and blowing them up. You know, how hypocritical is that, right? But heaven forbid you should retaliate against the Israeli state that started the war. Iran emphasized its recognized right to defend national sovereignty and create deterrence against Israeli state as a source of terrorism in the region, and they're absolutely right about that. Saying the country does not seek permission from anyone on the matter. And not to mention, you know, the weak are saying that they are strong. But Iran's not really considered weak anymore, but they used to be. Man, Iran used to be considered weak. The Islamic Republic of Iran is resolved to defend its national sovereignty and security and establish sustainable stability in the region and create deterrence against the genuine source of insecurity and terrorism in the region. He asserted in apparent reference to Israeli state, which, it's obvious that ISIS is Israeli secret intelligence services and is backed by the U.S., Babylon the Great. So like everything else, though, again, they're saying, well, we don't need any permission, It's a matter of national security, and it was. 65 injuries, no deaths in earthquake, health ministry said. Oh, did you know that there was an earthquake in Syria? Now, we don't hear about that over here in the West, right? Yeah, there was an earthquake in Syria. Oh, we heard about the bigger one, but not this. Ministry of Health announced that 65 minor to moderate injuries were recorded, 3 of which required surgery without any deaths being recorded due to an earthquake that struck eastern Hamas city on Monday. Yeah, you didn't hear reports about it. You just hear nothing but bullshit and teeter-tottering between Harris and Trump, which that's a shit show of its own. Ministry stated in a statement that 65 injuries were caused by panic attacks, stampede, and falls. Nothing that Shalom National Hospital dealt with 67 panic cases. So, it was 5.5 on the Richter scale and struck Hamas City at 23:56 hours following a number of weak aftershocks. So, yeah, there was an earthquake this week in Syria. News you don't normally hear about, but like everything else, so this guy also gets a lot of insider information. A lot of times when I'm at camp, I'll play something of his, but this is what he's received warning about. So he's kind of an insider, a little different from Redacted, but nonetheless, so this is what's happening.
We're getting warnings right now that a major cyber attack is expected on U.S. territory.
So here
I don't know
comes
whether
a false
it's going
flag.
to be through corporations, maybe a part of our infrastructure or our supply chain, but there are warnings coming down the pipeline that it is expected soon, and it's going to be originating from Iran, China, and Russia in one of the largest coordinated attacks against the USA or U.S. allies that we have seen so far. This probably has a lot to do with what's happening in the Middle East right
Israeli
now. Donald
state.
Trump recently said that things were going to go south after the election process. Even leading up to it, we would see huge economic problems inside the USA, and he's not even saying whether he wins or loses, just that this is happening. We do have the BRICS countries, Brazil, China, India, Iran, joining member of that, India, Russia. They are all right now completely applauding the fact that most countries have removed their dependency on the US dollar. We do have problems inside of our country that will not be resolved. They are past the point of resolution. And we do have a lot of very conspiratorial things happening, whether it's the presidential assassination attempt, or we do have the election process in general. There's a lot of money funneling and fueling of things that are going on. Other countries are pushing for division inside the USA, and what they actually want is civil war. They want us to fight against each other, and they want us to pick up our pitchforks and our torches and go and get the politicians. Now, the problem with that is the politicians have basically asked for this for the last 30 years. They have taken your money, they have slandered you, they have been corrupt and running corruption, they have done all these things. They have flown the hookers and cocaine to no end. So they're asking for that type of rebellion to take place. And when we have the type of outside sources that are pushing money in and instigating these types of things, we can see that the ground is ripe and fertile for this type of blood to flow in the streets. So with this warning of a infrastructural attack or some sort of cyber attack that will be prolonged, I want you and your family to think about what you're going to do if you don't have access to your cell phone.
And like everything else, though, well, when it all goes to shit, a lot of us are going to be off the grid. And like everything else, though, we can see, though, that indeed things will, in fact, pick up. Now, like everything else, though, this is some of the main articles, and I have longer ones on there, just things that I don't think would make it to YouTube. But nonetheless, though, Esau's been uncovered, right? We're seeing the time that, false flags, etc., they are not going to be able to get away with it, right? Because we're at the time when he shall be exposed, And prophecy is speaking, it's been speaking for quite some time, and that the least of the flock would draw everyone in. So Jeremiah 49 is big time speaking, so I'm going to read both parts of this. Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 10. I have made Esau bare, I've uncovered his secret places, and he should not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Now, I thought about the other part of this verse here, And it's like, yeah, the curses that they put on the Israelites, you know, how the father is not in the home, you know, the father, you know, is the weaker part. Well, it's now happening to the Edomites, you know. Leave thy father's children, I will preserve them alive, and let thy widows trust in me. And well, what's that talking about? Well, you notice that whenever there's a divorce, the woman gets everything. Remember that movie, Liar, Liar? And, of course, you know, the kid wished that his father would tell the truth for one day, but nonetheless, though, that evil bitch, man, she just fucking, you know, towards the end of the movie, man, it's like, oh, you told me to get him where it hurts, so I'm going to take everything from him. Well, that's happening to the Edomites, because, again, you know, that's when Jim Carrey threw himself to the court, and he says, they have no right to do this to the fathers. Well, fathers have no right, you know, with the woman ruling over the man. And that curse is now starting to fall upon Esau. Esau is the one that gave the women's rights and all this other shit. Now it's become a curse unto him. Verse 17, Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at the plagues thereof. Well, what's that talking about? Well, that's a nuclear destruction that's coming. You know, as it falls from everything else, it falls from being the great economic power, the you know, dictators of the world. You know, it's pretty much going to be weakened, especially when all countries of the world, with the help of Yahweh Yahushai, is going to turn their missiles upon this place, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighbor cities thereof, which talk about when Babylon the Great as a whole is being destroyed. Saith the Most High, no man shall abide there, neither shall Son of Man dwell in it. Meaning that it's going to be uninhabitable after the destruction. Therefore hear the counsel of the Most High that he had taken against Edom, which is talking about Babylon the Great as a whole. And his purpose says that he has purposed against the inhabitants of Teman, you know, going further into Babylon the Great, America. Surely the least of the flock, which is Amalek, the Israeli state, shall draw them out. Surely you shall make their habitations desolate with them. So this whole place is going to become wholly desolate very soon. You know, but like everything else though, there's a few more things that are going to come to pass before this does. But we can see that we're getting closer. So hopefully this has been edifying. Got more on the longer length videos on the other 3 channels, you know, which links are down below. Then I will say Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash, Wa Abba Babal. Barakathum, Jehovah Elect, Shalom.